What is up, guys? It's Flash back with some more charts and another video. Today is Thursday, April 11th. It's about 1:19 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry I haven't posted in a few days, given a uranium update in a few days. I've been a little bit busy, but hey, I have some good news. It's a green day in the uranium world, and not much has changed. I mean, if we're looking back at this bigger picture time frame, typically the monthly time frame, I think it personally gives me clarity and it gives me confidence that we are in a bull market. And the day-to-day price action, yeah, it's fun to look at and track our portfolios, but man, zooming out really is good for the mind, I would say. And man, it's also just good to see green day in the uranium space. So I'm going to go through a couple of these tickers. We're going to start with URA, and we can look at the distance percentage from the 30 period moving average, or 36 period. I forget what it is. Let's have a look what it is. It is 36. So 36 months is 3 years. So this is the 3-year moving average in gray here. And I have this bowl here that's kind of tracking the moving average, so to speak. Gives me confidence that this could be support as the moving average moves up. Yes, there are other moving averages, but like it did here in April and May of 2023, it found support right on the 3-year moving average. So I like to keep it on there. So we'll look at the distance from the moving average, and this can kind of tell us, momentum-wise where we're at. So for example, if we're breaking out of a little bit of a downtrend, that's right where we broke out of this consolidation period. So, and if we get overstretched, 90% above the moving average, that can kind of say, hey, we're a little bit overstretched. But I put this on the 2-week, and this kind of has a Livermore accumulation cylinder feel to it, right? This up volatility, increasing volatility. I think it would be great if we kept following it, to be honest. Back onto the monthly, we can also look at URA versus the S&P 500. I think if we are positioning in assets, we want to be outperforming the S&P 500. That's a given. And just kind of what I see here is a bottoming formation, it looks like. And I have some horizontal lines that I think we're kind of basing and trying to break out. And then we have this upwards trend line as well, which also coincides with, you guessed it, the 3-year moving average. So kind of looks like this looks like a bull flag or a bullish wedge of some sort. Yeah, it's on the monthly time frame, and this is the step line chart. So it's harder to see in detail, but if we look on the weekly, it looks like a breakout, a back test of some sort, and hopefully we're resuming upwards. And then lastly, I'll look at URA versus gold. Again, if we're in a bull market, if we're going to be in an asset class, I think we want to be in an asset class that is outperforming gold, aka sound money. It's my opinion. And look at this. We're kind of here's another channel. Bull flag into maybe another bull flag of some sort. Right under kind of a head shoulder formation. So I think it looks promising against gold, and look how strong gold has been. I mean, this is great. So steady as she goes for URA, and so now I'm going to jump into the leaders and the middle of the pack tickers within the uranium space, the ones that I'm following. If you want to drop me a like right now, it takes 1 second. If you have a comment or if you have a ticker that you may want to see, feel free to comment and I'll get to it in my next video and I'll give you a shout out. Starting with CCJ. Wow. Look at that monthly candle. That's what we want to see. We'll go into the weekly here and look at kind of finding support right on the 36-week moving average. Interesting enough. I know there's something about this length of moving average, but hey, we're trying to make a higher high here. We're looking super strong today on the daily. I saw recent charge in uranium space made me want to make a video, and I had some time, so I figured I'd hop on here and give you guys the good stuff. CCJ again, though, leading the way. It looks like it's turned up here against the S&P, and it is consolidating against gold, but we're above an important horizontal breakout line for gold. So as long as we're up here, hey, fine by me. Over to BMN, Bannerman. And yeah, I mean, steady as she goes. We're not getting whipsawed around on the day-to-day price action. We're in this for the long term, the next 5 or 10 years. You know, ideally, here's the ideal scenario. Just let me get my brush. You know, we kind of get up on this bull, and then maybe there's a handle here. And then we continue. Like, that would be insane. But I mean, look at big cup. Looks like we're trying to form this cup formation, and there might be a handle of some sort, and then we could resume higher. I mean, that's kind of a moon boy scenario, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, it's valid right now. If we go into the Heiken Ashi, I love this look on the Heiken Ashi too, just super strong. And we can kind of pull up our indicators here. It's just, yeah, look at that. It's kind of breaking out versus the S&P. And it is steady as she goes against gold. I think it could follow this upwards channel. And then the yellow I forgot to mention is Bannerman, or in this case, Bannerman measured in the URA index. So we want this to be outperforming the URA. Because one, you know, see back on URA, if URA is looking good and looking strong, this looks like a great chart. If we're outperforming that, that's pretty nice. We want to be in those assets. Over to Boss Energy, just kind of continuing to consolidate. You know, we're going to see if it finds support on this parabola here. Could drop to the 3-year moving average and continue up. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. Paladin, I don't know what's going on. It says it's up 906%. I think that's a little bit of a typo in TradingView's part, but hey, we could be up 906% later in the bull run as long as we buy and hold and don't get whipsawed around by the day-to-day price action. And look what we have done here in Paladin. You know, just connecting some support here. Looks like it was a bit of resistance here, general resistance area here, and then zooming in, we are broken through, baby. We have broken through that horizontal. I don't think there's a middle. I'm going to take this off because I don't think there's really any support resistance there. I mean, it's just an insane chart. Uranium is an insane sector if you look at if you consider the possibility and what these charts are telling us. Paladin is looking incredible. Absolutely incredible. I have to say it. I have to get excited about it. I got to bring the energy. Encore Energy, same thing. Encore Energy is leading the way here, and I can tell that it's leading the way by its performance against URA. Super strong uptrend. Yes, it's been consolidating since 2021 against URA, but we have a horizontal here that we can kind of track, and once we break through it, Encore Energy is going to, again, be on its way to leading this sector, one of them at least. Over to FSY, one of my favorite charts. Paladin is creeping up there, though, and Bannerman for that matter. But FSY, man, this just looks like a little bullish consolidation before we break through this, similar to Paladin. I'm going to go back to Paladin. We broke through that horizontal consolidation. I think we're going to do the same thing here in FSY. We may have a little bit more time to go sideways, and that's just to build energy for the next leg up. But man, this is a leader for a reason, right? Over to UEC, still building energy to go up, but I love UEC as well. Next Gen is another one I've been tracking. I mean, this is just a super strong chart. Taking no prisoners, Next Gen. And look where that 3-year moving average is. Right? Hugging this upper trend line. That's so beautiful. Denison Mines, another similar look. Hey guys, look at Denison Mines is breaking out. Beep, 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 beep. Denison Mines is breaking out of this horizontal. Let's see how it's doing against the S&P. Breaking out against the S&P. Let's see how it's doing against gold. There's a little bit of a down sloping resistance. But hey, looks like we're popped above it here. And then against URA, holy cow. If Denison DNN breaks above this upward sloping channel, that's a signal, some sort of signal. If we just want to do a little bit of a measured move, we just want to measure, okay, if you bought in now and held until 2030, assuming this trend line holds, that's a 20 bagger. It looks like one of the easiest plays of all time. But we'll see. We'll keep tracking it. I'll keep tracking it. I'll let you guys know. All right, those are the leaders of the pack. Now I'm just going to do the middle. Actually, hold on a second. Look at BSK today. BSK is up 20%. BSK is waking up, it looks like. Holy smokes. Because this thing can get really explosive, as it's demonstrated in the past. It can do these Hulk green candles. So, I mean, looks like a triple bottom on BSK. Sorry to skip down here, but yeah, man, up 20%. That's kind of a big deal. All right, back to the middle of the pack. We'll look at LEU, Centrus Energy. I mean, doing what Centrus Energy has been doing, finding support on the 3-year moving average. We're going to see if this double rail holds as support and if we can get above it. But a breakout above $57, I think, would lead us to 122. So steady as she goes. Got to be patient with Centrus. Over to Elevate. And so look at, I always bring this up with Elevate, but a down sloping trend line. This trend line that's been holding. And look we just poked our heads above it right here. And we're just kind of consolidating. Similar to Centrus, we're kind of just buying our time. So I love Elevate. If we want to look at how it's doing, so this is another point I want to make. Distance from the moving average. If it's in a bull market, it's going to retest this 3-year moving average. And so the closer this line gets to the red line, which is 0, that means the price has gone back and revisited the moving average, right? So these are kind of like, I think, mini buy zones in a bull market, right? So maybe up here, I don't know if this was a bull market or not, but you're buying under the moving average, you're buying under the moving average, you're buying under the moving average. And look what that, and then look what that yields you. Like back here, these are all buy zones, buy zones, buy zones. So what I'm trying to say is, we get a trend line here. So it looks like there's a little resistance right here. Maybe we're doing something like this. Building a little pocket of energy right here, this little pocket, and hopefully to blast higher. And so when we look at compared to the S&P, yeah, maybe we're getting there. Against gold, looking good. Against URA, looking good. Love Elevate. Sky Harbor is up 4% today, and I love to see that. Getting right above the 3-year moving average. Again, falling into this little pocket zone of energy. And so kind of want to bring up silver right now. Look at silver's chart. Look how it consolidated and went sideways for, well, honestly, since 2020. But when it really got consolidated and it built up a lot of energy right into this little pocket, and then boom, boom, 2 big monthly green candles. So going back to Sky Harbor, looks a little similar. I wouldn't be surprised to see boom, boom, big candles here. Hopefully in 2024. Right? Maybe end of summer 2024 into the fall, into the winter. Sky Harbor is going to be making some moves. Let's go to Laramide. Laramide still basing out. This is all one big base, kind of like UEC. Like, I consider this a big base in UEC. And then Laramide, man, building energy. And hopefully this 3-year moving average just follows up the arc. That's what we want to see. Over to energy fuels. We're kind of above this little base. Like, this is a support and resistance zone. We're above it. Continuing to consolidate. We gotta start making moves, but I mean, this has a ton of upside if we just want to do a quick flag pull. By 2026, I mean, I can be patient for a 10-bagger, right? Mega Uranium, similar look to Laramide. Big breakout and retest of the base, aka buy zone. Not financial advice, do your own research, but this is a buy. breaking out of a stage 1 into stage 2 retest. Global atomic still needs some time. But still an explosive stock. UROI finding support in the bottom of the channel, in the bottom of this expanding wedge. Needs to get above the 3-year moving average. Deep yellow. Deep yellow, you could actually make an argument, well, is about to become a leader in the space. So deep yellow, let's look at it versus the S&P. Still got some work to do versus the S&P. But, I mean, once we break out of this downtrending line, this horizontal, I think that's going to be a much better picture. Against gold, big base, big rounded base against gold with a clear horizontal. We are challenging that today, this month. And then against URA, woo-wee, deep yellow, big, looks like a cup and a little bit of a handle against URA. So again, if URA is doing well, we want to be in assets that are even outperforming URA. And deep yellow looks like it's going to pop, to be honest. And look at the 3-year moving average. If it starts to go, this will follow up the bull, right? Over to FUU, F3. Look at the moving average, you know. We've got to let the moving average catch up a little bit. Hopefully it catches on to this. And yeah, this is a rising wedge, but given the space that we're in, I think this would break to the upside. Cap just looks good. Bullish consolidation under a horizontal, building the energy to go higher. Love to see it. Same with ISO. And ISO, I think we might move ISO into being one of the leaders. It's done so well against gold, clear horizontal breakout, done well against the S&P. And look at that. Once we break above here, it's go time. I'm actually going to move ISO into a leader because it has been leading, and that's my bad. And look, we were just retesting the 3-year moving average, so it looks good. Western Uranium, WUC. You know what I see here? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Explosion City. $2 to a measured move of $38. You do the math. Now, Alaska, breakout. And now, see, this one's broken out. There's probably still some horizontals here. Could actually put one, yeah, I mean, put one right here. But again, breaking out of a downtrend, sideways consolidation, waiting. BSK, like I said, looks explosive, looks really good. Looks like it could have found its 3rd bottom here. And then maybe we'll look at base load real quick. So base load looks like it has to break out before we can consider, has to get above its 3-year moving average. Can probably do it in pretty short amount of time. And then some ratios I like to look at, Apple versus CCJ. This is one that was identified to me by Patrick Kareem on Twitter from North Star Bad Charts. And look what it did, Apple versus CCJ. So when Apple breaks out of CCJ, I think that's when we want to get out of the uranium sector. That's this rotation that I'm talking about. I talk about the gold to silver ratio. I mean the gold to S&P ratio. And there's a turning of a ship. There's turning of capital. Capital changes hands and goes from commodities over to, in this case, tech equities. Apple's a tech stock. And then look at the run that Apple went on. So we're kind of positioning in our uranium space as down here as if it's going to go on a big run. But now, so once Apple follows this fractal, it can probably move it out now a little bit. Once it starts breaking out, maybe in 27, 28, that's when we want to rotate out of uranium, in my opinion. And then another one I like to look at is NVIDIA versus CCJ. And I'm not sure what to make of this chart, honestly. NVIDIA is just so powerful, so strong. But look at this rising, expanding wedge. That's typically a bearish pattern, I think. So we're going to kind of continue to follow this. But as of right now, it looks like you would rather be in NVIDIA versus CCJ. But the way CCJ looks, and NVIDIA may have topped out, we're not sure yet. I think we're going to sit tight in our uranium plays right now. So that's it, guys. That's all I have today for Flash. Like I said, lovely green day. I'll continue to track these and monitor these, and yeah, see you guys the next one. Peace out.